Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and today I'm going to be doing the 25 bookish facts about me tag. It may be a tag, and if it is, I will link the creator's video down below. I figured this was a way to introduce myself to the booktube community a bit more than I already have. I like these types of videos because you get to see kind of the quirky things about the person you're watching, and I think it's fun. Fact number 1 is that I'm a pretty average speed reader. I read about 60 to 80 pages in an hour. Fact 2 is I'm a huge rereader. I love rereading books, and it makes me sad that a lot of booktube doesn't. Fact 3 is I take forever to pick my next book off of my TBR. I'm a very indecisive person, so fully committing to one book where there's about maybe 5 books that I'm really interested in reading at the time, it's really hard for me to commit to the one book. And I've tried TBRs before and they just only make me feel guilty because I never get to the books that I stick on my TBR. Fact number 4 is I rarely DNF books. I'm all for others DNFing, but I find it very difficult to put them down myself. And to piggyback onto that last fact, I don't rate my unfinished books. I just think it's unfair to the author and to other reviewers when you rate say half of a book and you judge it on that when you haven't experienced the whole thing. But I'm not shaming others who do so. Personally for me, it just doesn't really make sense. Fact 6 is I get super fucking annoyed when people, mostly adults, are condescending towards young adult books and young adult readers. It irks me, and I find it, again, to be condescending and dismissive and really rude. I don't like it. And fact 7 is I get even more annoyed when young adult readers, people who read like 95 to 100% YA, are condescending towards adults who read middle grade. It's like, it doesn't compute to me because you've got people who are condescending towards you and kind of make fun of your taste in books, yet you think it's okay to dismiss another's. And it's super hypocritical, and I'm not for it. On with the hate train, but I hate deckled edges. I don't get it. What's the point? Is it to make them look like they're an older book? They're not functional, nor are they pretty to me, so I wish publishers would stop this. I hate it, it's the worst. Fact 9 is I always check the number of pages in the book that I'm reading, and then I see the percentage of how much I have read and how much I have to go. It's something I've always done, even when I was younger. And I'm not like particularly a mathematical person, it's just I've always liked knowing how much I've read. The next set of facts are all Harry Potter related. The first one is that I watched the first 4 movies before picking up the books. And I don't think it affected my experience one bit. My only regret is I didn't pick them up sooner. Not because the movies spoiled anything, but I just wish that it was in my life for longer. The next fact is I have read the Harry Potter series over 20 times. And I don't plan to stop there. And again, the next fact is I have read the books more than I've seen the movies. It's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I don't love the Harry Potter movies as much as everyone else does. I think they're good. I don't think they're fantastic by any means. And if I want to re-experience Harry Potter, I'm just gonna reread it. Oh, another unpopular opinion is I don't want any additions to the Harry Potter franchise. I don't want a Marauders story. I don't want a story about the founders. I'm just afraid that if that story was written 20 years later and she didn't have any plans to do it before, I'm just afraid that it's going to be crap. And I thought The Cursed Child was garbage, and Fantastic Beasts I was kind of neutral on, so no more additions to the Harry Potter franchise. I'm perfectly happy just buying multiple editions of the books. And the last Harry Potter fact is I'm terrified to start the Cormoran Strike series. With any other of my favorite authors, I dive headfirst in any of their new works. And I'm never scared that their new work will affect my thoughts on the previous work. But I've heard such mixed things about the Cormoran Strike series. I don't know if I ever want to try it now. I own the first two, but I'm scared. Fact 15 is I am a compulsive series reader. If I start a series, I intend to finish that series. And even if I'm starting to dislike a series, I'm on the 4th or 5th book and I'm kind of not liking it, I will finish. If there's a book or two left, I will finish it. And I like to know that I've completed it. It's stupid, and it would save me a lot of time with books that I don't necessarily enjoy, but it is the way I'm wired. Fact 16 is I have never bought a book off Amazon. Amazon prices in Canada are basically the same as Indigo online, and I'd rather support a bookstore, even though it is our chain of bookstores. I'd rather support that than Amazon. Fact 17 is I never fan cast. I just don't do it. I like the way that the characters exist in my head. The next fact is I always have to read the book before I see the movie. There's been obviously a few exceptions, but I have to have read the book before I watch the TV show or movie. Also, if the movie is coming out in theaters and I'm interested in seeing the adaptation, I will read the book, and about 50% of the time I will actually go and see the movie. Either because I didn't really like the book, so I don't want to experience the movie again, or I just kind of forgot about it and then I have to watch it 6 months later. Fact 20 is I've read 2.5 of the 3 Lord of the Rings books. I was in the 6th grade and I was more than halfway through the Return of the King, and I just remember that something was being described. There was a tower, a place that was being described for pages and pages and pages, and I couldn't get through it. And now I regret it because I had half a book left and I would have finished the trilogy, but nope, 6th grade me couldn't do it. I do have plans to reread and retry the series. The next fact is a lot of the audiobooks I read are books that I'm unsure of or pretty sure that I'm going to dislike, but I still want to experience the story. Now I'm starting to listen to books that I think I will like as well, but I was right to do so with some of the earlier books that I had listened to. I listened to Soundless and really didn't like it. I listened to Red Queen and hated it. So my method has been working out. The next fact is every time I'm reading a sex scene, it always happens to me when I am in public. I just, all the time, and I can't get away from it, and it makes me so paranoid because I think people are knowing that what I'm reading. Fact 23 is kind of a nitpicky, stupid thing, but it bugs me when people call the Song of Ice and Fire series Game of Thrones. The showrunners for Game of Thrones decided to change the name so people wouldn't confuse the two, yet now all the show watchers and just casual people call the series Game of Thrones, and it bugs me. It's just a little nitpicky, stupid thing, but it gets under my skin. The next fact is I am on team don't touch it. It is what I call for a series that I love or a book that I love that I do not want to be adapted. When I love something, I don't want Hollywood to touch it because most of the time they F it up. We've had a couple good adaptations, but I would say 95% of the time they suck, so I'm on team don't touch it. Don't touch my favorite series, you're just gonna ruin them. If I want to experience them again, I will reread them. I don't want an adaptation. My last fact is I like to read the acknowledgements of books. I started doing this maybe 6 months ago, and I've really been enjoying it just because it's nice to see an author thank who helped them complete this book, and I really like it. I don't think many people do it, but I just think it's really fun. I'd like to know your thoughts on the Harry Potter movies, adaptation wise, and if you like them, because I do enjoy them. I feel as if I'm saying that I dislike them. I don't dislike them, I just think obviously the books are so much better. But I'd like to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching and happy reading. Bye!